Hey everybody, I'm back. We are on another video review. This time I didn't make you wait as long. And today we're going to be talking about Assassin's Creed Mirage, a game published and developed by Ubisoft, and it came out not too long ago. I believe it was October 5th of this year. So if you are unfamiliar with this franchise, it's action adventure RPG stealth. You really need to embrace the stealth. That makes the game more enjoyable. They're known for their free flowing parkour as well, the climbing, the running, the jumping, and all that. So that's kind of probably the stealth, and that parkour is probably the shining achievement for this franchise. I have myself did not play the past 3 or 4 Assassin's Creed games. I think the last one I played was Black Flag 4, which was Assassin's Creed 4, or Unity. I think it was Unity, whichever one came after the other. Anyways, so we're going to go through the pros and cons, give you a little bit of reasoning for each one. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and start with the pro. Pro number one would have to be the visuals of this game. This game is pretty, it's detailed, really does feel like you're in ninth century, you're in Baghdad. I mean, I was a little blown away at times when you get up on the viewpoints to look around. I think they did a good job at highlighting like I'm this is what they wanted to do, and Ubisoft is very good at these type of things. They always do a good job on their level design. So I guess that's still one point is like the whole city itself and the visuals. It's just really well designed. So I would have to applaud them for that. That to me, that's the standout of this game. The second standout would have to, or thing would have to be the game length. Kind of a weird second pro, right? But this game is, for better or worse, like it's not too long and it's not too short. Like sometimes you play a game and it goes on and it gets tiresome, right? And then you play a game where it never really gets going and it's over before you know it. This game does a really good job at ending, and also like in Creed games, there's lots of collectibles and stuff, and like of course you can choose to do all those. You don't have to, but this game like doesn't overdo it. So I really would have to say that's a nice pro about Assassin's Creed Mirage. The third pro would be, for me again, I did not play the past few Assassin's Creed games, so I I don't know what they're like, but to me this felt like a throwback to the first one. Also, like, the similar, like, it's not Baghdad, of course. I don't remember what the first one, because it was so long ago, where the it was based on, but it felt like very familiar. The way you're assassinating, there's not a ton of like, it really wants you to be stealth. Yeah, there's tools in this one, and you can kind of like, throwing knives are pretty broken, but you still like, it's not like super advanced. Like, I don't know how to tell you it. It's like simple, but it's not like in a bad way simple. So it's like a throwback to the first few Assassin's Creed games, especially the first one. And my memory of it kind of feels like it, if that makes sense. So if you're looking for that, to go back to that roots, because I think people were saying Valhalla was kind of like, it didn't feel like a stealth game. Again, I didn't play it, so I have no opinion on that. But we're gonna move on to the next pro. Assassin's Creed games always have really good music and audio, and this game is no different. The voice acting is worth mentioning, but the music, oh, so beautiful. Like this ambient noises. I'm one of my favorite soundtracks, video game soundtracks, is Assassin's Creed 2, and this one does not disappoint. And I feel like for the setting, the music also fits. It is interesting to hear the English. You hear like Arabic speaking people speaking English, but it's nice to hear like the when they pronounce like you know towns within Baghdad, or like suburbs, I guess, or like anything relating to the culture. Like it's nice to hear the correct pronunciation. At least to me, it's different. It's not like me saying Baghdad isn't correct, right? So I would have to say that's nice to hear. But the music, oh man, it's just nice. So those are my pros for this game. Now we're gonna go ahead and move on to the cons. I have some cons, and the first con would have to be the prologue. I mentioned the game link felt about right, but the prologue went on a little too long for me, like the tutorial-y kind of stuff. But I feel like in some of the Assassin's Creed games, it's like that. So it may be like a staple for them. I don't remember exactly, but to me, it just felt like it went on a little too long. I was ready to get out there and explore and do things, so uh, maybe. maybe it's not a fair con to some people, but to me, it did kind of like wear me out a little bit how long it was. So the second con is leads to the exploration in the game. So there is exploration. And for me, when I play these kind of sandbox open world kind of adventure games, I want to explore everything I come across. In this game, you can do that, but it's not a good idea to do it until you complete the story, which is really strange for a sandbox game. And the reason being, this may be a spoiler, but I'm going to tell you this now in case you're interested in the game. I don't. You shouldn't rush to the story by any means, but don't go out of your way to like look in every nook and cranny because some places are blocked off. You can't get into certain rooms. You might see a chest for gear you want to pick up and you can't get to it, and you're like scratching your head why. Because they do a good job, and this is I'm going to mention this. They do a good job at like having these areas you can explore into puzzles to kind of get in these buildings to figure out how to. But there are some ways so you're sitting there trying to brute force your way into a room that you can't get into. So I did that, and I spent a lot of time doing that, and it annoyed me. So try to like if you can't find a solution to something pretty soon, move on. Like don't do like I did and spend an hour trying to get into a building and then realize later on you couldn't get in that building because you were blocked out of it until the story progressed, which I don't particularly like in these type of games. Or the chest shouldn't appear on your map until you can actually get to it. That would have been fine. That would have been another nice touch. So, anyways, that's another con of mine. And I'll go ahead and say it again. The exploration could be a little bit better. I really feel like they could have utilized more like over encompassing like temple. Like I remember in other Assassin's Creed games, you go into like temples and you solve puzzles, you climb up, you do a lot of climbing, and there's just big areas and like underground ruins and stuff. And there's only a couple of those like in this game, and I was a little disappointed with that because the setting is so cool. It would have been nice to see like more of that. There is no, get me wrong. The map itself is nice, but like the real hidden exploration could have been better, in my opinion. Don't get there's still exploration though. Don't worry. Don't think I'm saying there's not because there is. Because that's an important thing in Assassin's Creed games is the exploration. So and then the last con would have to be the story itself. It's not bad, but it's not gonna blow you away. And if you didn't play the past few Assassin's Creed games, you might get lost. So, like the ending, for instance, I had to like look it up and see what it was trying to tell me, and then it made sense. That's not a con. Don't get me wrong. That's on me because I didn't play the other ones. But just the story itself, you know, you're trying to figure out what's going on, and to get to the ending. The ending does pay off. There's a good payoff, which I always talk about. The payoff in this game is there for the ending, but you're not going to be blown away by anything that happens, okay? So, but I feel like that's to be expected maybe, but to me the story could have stood out a little bit more and it didn't. So, it wasn't horrible, not a bad story, just wish it was they did something more with it, especially with the setting. But I do appreciate what they did do. So, overall, Assassin's Creed Mirage was a game that was not really on my radar for a while because Assassin's Creed games come out all the time and they're usually always pretty consistent with, except for a couple of blemishes, they're usually pretty consistent with the, product they put out being of quality. And I will say this is a quality game. I'm going to give Assassin's Creed Mirage a 7.75 out of 10. I was leaning more towards an 8, but then there was some things that just kind of annoyed me that put me a little bit lower, but still a 7.75 is nothing to be ashamed of. It is definitely a AAA game. If you played other Assassin's Creed games, you're going to like this a lot. If you played older ones and you wanted more of that feel, you're going to like this one a lot. I enjoyed it. I feel like I'm very satisfied with the game. It might not sound that way with the score, but that's a pretty dang good score in my opinion. I don't give like, tens and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I've only been doing this for a few months now, but I mean, come on, that's a high score to me. So, anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for my video review and opinion of Assassin's Creed Mirage. If you have any other kind of opinion on what my opinion is, or want to like say something, make sure to comment. Please subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Like any kind of reaction to the video really helps. It lets me know that you're, consuming my product of this review of this product. and it helps me want to do it more. It gives me the motivation. So thank you guys for watching. Assassin's Creed Mirage, 7.75 out of 10, a pretty good score. Good job, Ubisoft. Really appreciate the experience to be able to play it. So, all right, guys, that'll do it for this video.